Yo, what's up, sports bettors? Alex here, and I have a $5,000 bet on tennis. So, to a lot of people, they'd be like, wow, Alex, you don't know anything about tennis. You're a total degenerate. And the truth is, I don't know anything about tennis. I know about markets, I know about data, and I know about sharp sports betting strategy. So, I'm going to be taking you through this tennis bet, explaining to you in detail why it is so profitable. And again, you don't have to know anything about the players. That's the craziest part. We're going to go ahead. We're going to get into this bet. As sharp bettors, we follow the value. If this bet were in the NBA, I would have placed this bet on the NBA. This bet were on NHL, I'd place the bet on the NHL. But this extremely good play was on tennis, so let's get into it. Yo, so here's the play. I'm on Thiago plus 3.5 game spread at plus 100 odds. Right? Again, I ride with you guys on all these plays, putting my own personal money on them. So just trying to give you bets I think are good. If there's good bets in the NBA, I'll give out more NBA bets. This is a tennis bet. So anyways, one thing I wanted to mention is the price you're getting is really important. You know, a lot of times I get the question, yo, my book, the book I use, has this minus 140. Should I bet it? And it's like, no, you're getting 40 cents worse. Right? When you're getting plus 100, you're betting 100 to win back 100. Minus 140 means betting 140 to win back 100. That's a big difference. And a lot of people will say, oh, who cares? The bet either wins or loses, and you make money or you lose money either way. And it's like you're missing the point, right? If someone wants to buy your house for $1,000 versus $100,000 versus $1 million, it probably affects your judgment. So the price you're getting matters, right? As an investor, day trader, sharp bettor, the price matters. So let's go ahead over here and we can explain why this is good. So the first thing you're going to notice is like, damn, Thiago plus 3.5 is the favored outcome on FanDuel, BetOnline, and Pinnacle. Pinnacle and BetOnline are two of the sharpest bookmakers out there, two of the sharpest sports books in the world, right? They both have this as the favored outcome, minus 120, minus 101, or minus 120 plus 101 is the market on Pinnacle. Right? So they're saying for Thiago, you have to bet 120, right, to win back 100. Whereas on Kubler minus 3.5, you have to bet 100 to win 101. So on Pinnacle, they're letting you bet 100 on the favored tennis player, Jason Kubler, minus 3.5. They're letting you bet 100 to win 101 in profit. They're letting you bet 100 to win 101 in profit. So they obviously think that this is less than 50% to occur. If they thought it was 50% to occur or over 50% to occur, they wouldn't let you bet $100 to win $101, right? So long story short, all these books, right, they have lines juiced towards Thiago, which means they think Thiago plus 3.5 is the more likely outcome. So you can quantify that with a no-vig odds calculator. Right? So what this calculator does is it takes a sportsbook's market and it tells you the win probability for your bet. So for Thiago plus 3.5, according to Pinnacle, so according to this market, minus 120 plus 101, again, Pinnacle is known to be the sharpest bookmaker in the world. So according to Pinnacle, Thiago plus 3.5 is 52.3% to occur, 52.3%. Right? You put in BetOnline, they're a little more juiced, minus 121 plus 101, so we'll see this number increase, 52.3 to 52.39. Right? So sportsbooks imply win probabilities through their odds. The fact that BetOnline has the line slightly more juiced towards Thiago means they believe Thiago plus 3.5 is more likely to occur. Right? Compared to Pinnacle. Now FanDuel is minus 118, minus 112. So they're saying, okay, now, there's not a ton of juice in either direction. Minus 118, whatever, minus 112. So this means FanDuel just thinks it's very slightly favored, 50.61%. So this is how all sportsbooks work. They have models that spit out win probabilities for bets, right? Sportsbooks are very smart. They have very good models, right? They've invested hundreds of millions of dollars into their ability to set lines. They're constantly moving around odds due to supply and demand. So in general, these sportsbooks are very hard to beat unless you're doing exactly what we're doing, which is finding inefficiencies in the market, right? So again, if more money, which is basically what happened in this case, if all the sharp bettors and all the syndicates, if all the money starts coming in on Thiago plus 3.5, this line will move from minus 120 to minus 130 to minus 140, right? As action comes in on a specific play, sportsbooks will juice lines more and more in that direction, right? So no-vig odds calculator is the most important calculator on OddsJam. Definitely recommend you spend some time with it, right? Like Bovada, for example, they're giving you the +3.5 and the -3.5 at the same exact odds. So if you think about that, if we put in -115, -115, Bovada, they're giving you the same odds on the +3.5 and the -3.5. They're saying both plays are equally likely to occur, 50%, right? So long story short, according to Pinnacle, BetOnline, and FanDuel, Thiago +3.5 is more than 50% to occur. There's slight differences from book to book, but we're getting +100. So we're betting 5,000 to win 5,000 in profit, right? Like right here. We're betting 5K to win 5K in profit for a total payout of 10K, which you can maybe see right here. 5K bet to pay 10K. So long story short, we're winning this bet over 50% of the time, according to the sharpest bookmakers, right? Betting 5 to win 5, we have a win probability over 50%, so this play is profitable, right? Like if you're winning bets 50% of the time, betting at +100 odds, you'll break even long term. Win 10, lose 10, win 10, lose 10, win 10, lose 10, win 10, lose 10. Doesn't matter. If you're betting at +100 odds and you're hitting your bets 50% of the time, you're basically like flipping a coin millions of times or whatever for $100 with a friend. The coin is 50% to land on heads and tails. There's no advantage towards either player. So long story short, this play looks really good at +100 according to Pinnacle, BetOnline, and FanDuel's markets. Now, another thing is this is arbitrage, right? So you could make risk-free money placing a bet on Thiago +3.5 on Caesars and Kubler -3.5 at +101 on BetOnline. We could bet on both of these outcomes, +100 and +101, and make a risk-free profit. So you may be a little confused, like how's that possible? And again, it's usually not possible. But out of the millions of odds kind of on sports books, so, you just go into one game. It's like the amount of stuff you can bet on. Well, this is kind of random game. Runs, prop bets, race to 7 runs, 4 runs. Like Caesars is probably offering, if you consider all the odds on their site, so we can go over to NBA. If you consider all the odds on their site, right, all this different stuff, they probably have 50,000 odds on their site. So they're not perfect. They screw up occasionally, and they give out really profitable plays like Thiago +3.5. But what you're going to notice is BetOnline has the other side at +101. So you can get plus money, +100 and +101 on both sides of the market. So if you go to an arbitrage calculator, what this calculator tells you is, wow, you can get plus money, +100, +101. If you bet your $5,000 on Caesars and you bet 49.75, so this calculator tells you, exactly how much to bet on the other side. So if we put in 5,000 here for our play on Caesars at +100 odds, this is called an arbitrage calculator, right? Arbitrage calculator. It basically tells you how much to put on the other side to make a risk-free profit. So we're getting plus money on both sides, right? So the ARB calculator is telling me, yo, on BetOnline or on Pinnacle, same odds, +101, you could put 49.75, 12, right? You could put 49.75, 12, and you'll make a risk-free profit of 24.88. 24.88 in risk-free profit. So I ended up rounding a bit, but you'll see, just to go through an example, let's say we bet 49.75 on BetOnline on Kluber -3.5 and $5,000 on Caesars on Monteiro +3.5, which is exactly what I did. There's two outcomes, right? You either win on Caesars and lose on BetOnline, that's the first outcome, or you win on Caesars and you lose on BetOnline, right? Like these are equal and opposite outcomes. Either this Kluber guy, what's his name again? Either this Kubler guy wins by 4 or more games, right? You're betting a -3.5 game spread. So if he wins by 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, 4+ games, then you'll win on BetOnline. You will lose on Caesars. If he does not win by 4+ games, so if Thiago wins or Kubler wins by 0, 1, 2, or 3 games, 1, 2, or 3 games, then Caesars will win, BetOnline will lose, right? So essentially we can go through the payouts, right? If this guy wins by 4+ games, we lose our bet on Caesars. I'll lose this +3.5 that I put $5,000 on. So I lose $5,000 on Caesars. But on BetOnline, my profit is 49.75, right? $4,975 times 1.01, right? I'm betting at plus 101 odds. So, it's just 1.01 times 49.75. That's your profit on Bet Online. So on Bet Online, I'm up 5,000 and roughly 25 bucks. So my net profit is roughly 25 bucks. Now, if this guy does not win by 4+ games, we win on Caesars, $5,000, $5,000 at plus 100 odds is $5,000. On Bet Online, we lose $49.75. Whoa, in both cases, we made a risk-free profit. No matter what happens in this tennis game, we make a risk-free profit. So you may be like, oh, why didn't you arb this and just make the risk-free profit? And the reason is, it's very clear looking at the market that Caesars is the side that is off. Caesars is the profitable bet, right? So I'm betting $5,000 with a 2.08% profit margin. So I don't want to hedge and give up my advantage, right? Like this plus 101 isn't a good bet. Caesars is just screwing up so badly that you can place a hedge bet and pay the vig, pay the juice to make a risk-free profit, right? So plus 101 isn't good odds. You shouldn't place this bet, right? But the point is you could bet on both and make a risk-free profit, which means one play by definition has to be profitable. But the reason I'm not hedging on Bet Online or on Pinnacle is this plus 101 is not a profitable bet. Plus 101 is not a profitable bet, right? So you don't want to go with this. So you wouldn't want to arb this. So EV betting is a lot more profitable than arbitrage betting long-term because you can think about it. I could either make $25 risk-free arbitrage betting, right? You can see right here, 24.88 is my profit right here if I arbitrage bet this with Bet Online. Or I can make a 2.08% profit margin on a $5,000 bet by EV betting. So EV betting will have variance. Like you can see in my 2022, 2023 profit, ups, downs, ups, downs. Like EV betting is like flipping a coin that's weighted in your favor. You'll win in the long run, but not every single bet's going to win. But long story short, if we have a 2.08% edge, right? This is called edge or profit margin. Edge or profit margin. So 2.08% edge or profit margin, right? A $5,000 stake means we're up $5,000 times 2.08. $5,000 times 2.08 divided by 100, that's supposed to be a percent. So our bet has $104 in EV or in profit margin. So we could arbitrage bet this again. You could arbitrage bet this, make a risk-free profit of $25, or you can EV bet this and get roughly $100 in long-term ROI, right? So like here, not every bet's guaranteed to win, but in 2022, I averaged a 4.44% ROI. Here was my profit. Again, not every bet wins. That's not the point. The point is if you have an edge, you win in the long run, right? It's just math. So long story short, I'll put this sheet in the description. I'll name it something like tennis bet or whatever, but hopefully this video was helpful.